I want to warn you, this video is going to make a lot of people upset. It's going to challenge your paradigm. And I only ask that you go to the Lord in prayer about it and that you watch the entirety of this video. I'm going to make it quick, very simple. But what's happening in society, especially in the Western world right now, is that you are being inundated with certain ideologies. You're allowing people to run rampant in society with certain things, running with their woke ideologies, and people are accepting it, and they don't realize the microcosm that you live in and how much of an influence, how much of a norm it is for you. But if you live in a different culture that is not accepting of this and has, I want to say, righteousness established in their cultural DNA, then you're literally going to see it as a breath of fresh air, quite frankly. And so I'm saying this because you really need to dig out of this nationalistic, right? This American, this Western ideology and culture. You literally have to take that hat off, that bias off, and you have to put on the mind of Christ. You have to put on biblical ideologies. You have to take away your preconceived notions. You have to literally crush the paradigm and the culture that you've been raised with, and all the information, all of the perspectives that people have told you, especially in the news. You have to get rid of all of that and just say, Lord, I want to have clarity in how I can perceive the world. Because right now, a lot of people are already getting over this hump of waking up, seeing the schemes of the enemy. They're getting over all of these narratives and the issue with how to perceive the world around you. And so right now it's Women's History Month, and there's been just a lot of different news, right? So people honoring women, but ironically, right? For example, Hershey faces boycott over trans woman in International Women's Day campaign. So this company, this chocolate company that we all know, one of 5 of their women in this campaign on their chocolate bars was a trans man, right? And they're basically putting all of this on you to say that, listen, this is, we're progressing and blah, 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 and all that stuff. But you have to, you literally have to wake up to this agenda. And so here's an excerpt from Time magazine talking about this piece of news. And so John Stone was the name of the trans person who was included in the Hershey campaign. But pay attention to how it's being framed, right? And this is going to go over people's heads unless you literally look at it and see what the agenda is and on how they're framing it to demonize certain people, right? So while many praise the brand for the inclusion of John Stone, hundreds of right-wing users stormed to Twitter to voice their disdain. Quote, the reaction to my inclusion as a trans woman in Hershey's Canada IWD campaign shows just how far we still have to go in the fight for feminist liberation and trans rights, John Stone tweeted on Thursday. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not shutting up. I will always stand up for women, girls, cis, and trans, right? So you literally have to see with spiritual eyes to see that this is a wicked agenda, right? And again, this is not to hate on the person, but how lost this person is in terms of righteous values. And then continuing on, Hershey has since defended their actions, saying they, quote, value togetherness and recognize the strength created by diversity. Hershey tweeted, over the past 3 years, our Women's History Month programming has been an inclusive celebration of women and their impact. We appreciate the countless people and the meaningful partnerships behind these efforts. Look at how innocent it sounds, right? It sounds like it's progressing, but again, you have to read between the lines. You have to look deeper at what's really going on. They're erasing the actual essence of who a man should be and what a woman should be. And that is the nucleus of a family. That's the nucleus of how you need to reproduce, how you need to have love in the family. And because of all of this being put on you, it's literally going to remove the power. And again, it's attacking masculinity. You want to weaken. The attack of the enemy is to weaken the masculinity of a man. And so this kind of stuff, guys, if you're not literally stepping back and realizing this agenda, then you literally are going to be ignorant to it, and you're just going to be in the flow of the world. And so this is what this world is coming to, right? And because so many people are in on it, the media, corporate culture, you got professional people. And again, they're not going to come at you with attitude, with devil horns and saying, ha ha ha, like we're about to take over and attack masculinity. They're going to seep in there slowly. They're going to allow themselves to get into education, the corporate system, in the name of equality, in the name of whatever positive sort of movement, and they're going to bring it in that way. And that's how it's going to advance into society. And so that's why you have to realize this stuff and stop it in its tracks. Otherwise, it's just going to continue seeping in. And so in contrast, I want to show you guys this quick video, right? And again, before you have this microaggression and you literally, your emotions and your feelings come out and say, oh, wait a minute, I hate this guy, whatever. Literally just listen for just 2 minutes on what he's saying, right? This is Putin, and this is an excerpt of his State of the Union.
It cannot ignore the fact that Russia cannot be defeated on the battlefield. So they're waging increasingly aggressive information attacks. First of all, targeting the young generations, lying on every step, distorting historical truth, attacking our culture, the Russian Orthodox Church, and other traditional religious institutions in our country. Now look at what they're doing with their own peoples. They're destroying the institution of family, their cultural and historical identity, and various perversions with regard to children up to pedophilia are accepted as the new norm, and priests are forced to recognize and officiate same-sex weddings. People can live however they want, and we in Russia have never intruded into people's private life, and we're not going to do that. But what we want to say is maybe they should take a look in the scripture, into the holy book of any great religion. It says that the family is a union between woman and man. And these holy texts are now being increasingly doubted in the West. The Anglican Church is now considering the idea of a gender-neutral God. What can we say? God forgive them. They don't know what they're doing.
So I've talked about Putin before, right, in Russia and what's going on. But again, a lot of this is narrative seeding. And I'm not here to advocate for Putin. I'm not here, oh, he's a righteous Christian. I'm not saying that. I don't know what his past was. I don't know what he's going to do in the future. But his fruit in this season is very clear. If you do the research and if you ask the Lord for clarity, and he's establishing righteous order in his country, in society, from whatever power and stewardship he has. And again, people are going to be like, whoa, what are you doing, bro? Stop talking about Putin like that. Literally, I'm just telling you, if you do any amount of research and you're not privy to Western media and Western ideology bombarding you with this narrative, right? And if you do any amount of research on even Ukraine, I've said prophetically last year that Russia is in the middle of a special military operation. And people are going to tell you, oh, you got to back Ukraine and do all this stuff. And this is what Biden and all these guys are trying to tell you as being the positive narrative. But if you do any amount of research, the speculation around the weapons of mass destruction and the biolabs, about the crimes against humanity, all the money laundering, this country, if you do any amount of research, you're going to see that this is deeper in terms of nefarious, evil activity that support the global world order, if you want to call the Freemason stuff, the Illuminati stuff, the deep state stuff. Again, people are going to be like, whoa, that's conspiracy, that's whack. Again, if you don't know and you have not bridged the gap into getting information and being fully educated in this area, then you naturally, because of your coping mechanism, your defensive mechanism, based on other narrative seeding and preconceived notions, you're going to defend and you're going to be like, oh, that doesn't sound right, because you haven't been open to researching and looking for the truth. And again, some of these things are coming out very slowly. The Hunter Biden stuff, the laptop, and many things. Mark my words, what is hidden will be revealed. And so this is the hour that we are living in, a great exposure, a great awakening. And again, I'm here to challenge you to pray about it. Nobody's backing any one person and elevating them and worshiping them. No one's doing that. What we want is to have the mind of Christ, and we want to have the correct perspective to be able to do our due diligence, to be able to fight against evil, untrue, misinformation narratives, and tell you what really is the perspective you should have over a person, over an agenda, or whatever it is. And so I'm here to say, guys, with the Russia-Ukraine stuff, it is not what the media is making it out to be. And so you have to pray about it. You have to do some research. It's a very difficult topic. This is a very advanced level of discernment because you really need to seek and be inquisitive about finding out the truth. And you have to remove, right? You have to remove these biases, these preconceived notions, and you have to shed yourself of this paradigm, of this Western ideology hat that you have on, and you have to take on biblical righteous values. And that requires you to seek the Lord and not use your own rational thinking that you think is supposed to be right. And so this is very challenging for many people. I'm going to lose people. Some people are going to get angry. They're going to get mad. I guarantee you. But I'm telling you because this is the agenda of the enemy, as even Putin said in his State of the Union, as well as if you see what's going on in the corporate culture, in the government, in the media, in society today, there's many multi-front attacks that are going on, and Satan is behind all of it. And you have to be aware. The first step is that you have to be aware, you have to be awake. And then once you recognize it, then you know how to attack it, counter it, and defend true biblical ideologies. Because again, if you're not in that space, then all you're going to do is attack what should not be attacked. You're going to defend what should not be defended. And so I just wanted to give you guys this quick encouraging word. Love you guys. More to come. It's a great time to be alive right now because many things are happening as we speak. So love you guys and talk to you guys very soon.